I was asked to speak today about my advocacy work through state and national organizations as a pathway to successful advocacy. Prior to my work with the APSA Advocacy Committee, I had been involved personally on specific issue-based causes, but I really didn't know how to do advocacy. Luckily, there are a lot of resources for educating oneself and each other. The AAP advocacy site and the ACS Surgeon's Voice education pages taught me how the legislature works, how to write letters, emails, make phone calls, and how to write op-eds and use social media to advance advocacy topics. I've become very involved with both of these organizations at both the state and the national level in order to advance topics of importance to pediatric surgeons, pediatric patients, and surgeons in general. At the state chapters, there's a great way to learn about all the state bills and topics that are of importance to children and to surgical care. And at this area, I was able to voice my concerns or my support for these legislative actions through writing and in person. At the state level, you can have more actual in-person contact with your representatives, and often the impacts come faster and can be more tangible. Additionally, working at the state level made me realize that working at the county level could be even more impactful, like immediate impacts, such as installing stop signs at intersections where we saw a high number of pedestrian-struck accidents. At the national level, the ACS and the AAP hold yearly summits, which are both educational as well as activists. These organizations both have significant influence and lobbying power. Joining hundreds of colleagues on different times, we go to the Hill and lobby for important issues for children and for surgeons. But more important than the actual action of being there that day is the follow-up. And I will emphasize that that follow-up is key. While you can have in-person meetings at the Hill, following up with repeated emails, repeated phone calls, and conversations with the staffers actually leads to the relationship development that then can really build the impact. And then when you are back in your state, you can have in-state face-to-face meetings where you really can spend much more time exploring and developing those relationships and those conversations about the impacts and telling your stories. I've recently, in the last couple of years, become involved in other organizations that are national organizations, which are more issue-based. So I now serve on the National Steering Committee for Gun Violence of Doctors for America. And this is more of a topic-specific advocacy route that has brought me together with physicians and trainees from all different specialties and allowed me to have a more multidisciplinary and collaborative network of people working on this issue from a variety of viewpoints that has led to taking legislative action on topics such as mental health issues, which certainly impact our surgical trauma patients. But no one was expecting a pediatric surgeon to be at those meetings. And when I explained my viewpoint of it, it really brought the conversation around to a different perspective. So I hope that having some resources from different organizations and seeing how involvement at different levels will spark you to get involved. It's a very safe way to put your foot in the water and start to do advocacy, as there are lots of people in all of these organizations who can help mentor and build your own journey along the way.